Welcome, everybody, to the Really True Sports Network. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster. Today, we're going to look at this Sunday's AFC Championship matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are currently favored by 3.5 points. If you want to bet this game, go to BetMGM. You can click on the link in the description down below if you're watching on YouTube. Let's go ahead and get this started, guys. I don't think this matchup surprises too many people for the AFC Championship at the start of the year. They were two of the favorites. The Kansas City Chiefs have struggled more than they have in the past 5 or 6 years. This is their sixth straight AFC Championship game, and they actually had to go on the road and win last week against Buffalo, which they did do 27-24 to advance to Baltimore. The Ravens, after struggling in the first half against the Houston Texans, blew the Texans out in the second half. Lamar Jackson, who is probably going to be the MVP this season. You've got John Harbaugh, great football coach. His brother just won a college football championship. It's all in the family. Looks like John may go to the Chargers. But this is a game that is extremely interesting, I believe, because when you start off and you look at the Chiefs' offense against the Ravens' defense, I think that Mahomes and the Chiefs, especially with the help of Rashee Rice, have really quieted the critics that have come up this season talking about the Chiefs' offensive struggles. And they have struggled a lot of this season compared to what they've done in the past. Other than a few red zone snags against the Bills, the Chiefs' offense got their groove back. And, the same thing against Miami. They struggled in the red zone a couple times, but they played well. And Travis Kelce is back to playing with youthful energy. Now, the Chiefs have also leaned more on a running game powered by hard-charging Isaiah Pacheco. I love this guy. Is there anybody that runs the ball harder than Pacheco does? Throws his body all over the place. He's not afraid of contact. He's got that forward lean every time he gets hit. He's one of the best running backs in football right now. The offensive line has stepped up in the playoffs. They'd struggled a little bit during the season. Still, there's a lot of concern about Jawan Taylor, who's had a rough season, highly penalized, misses a lot of blocks. But Patrick Mahomes has taken advantage of that extra stability up front. Now, the Ravens calling card likes the Chiefs is their pass rush, but it's been difficult to sack Mahomes because he can make so many off-script big plays by scrambling. Now, the other thing is the front four of the Ravens get a lot of pressure when they blitz. When they bring the house, they will like to switch coverages. I don't know if their front four without blitzing can get to Mahomes. So I think they're going to have to blitz a little bit more than what they want to. And if that happens, it's scary to have to blitz Patrick Mahomes because he makes so many off-script plays. He gets out in so many instances. He's like a smaller Ben Roethlisberger where you think you got him, and the next thing you know, he's running out, completing a pass for another big game. On the other side, the Ravens offense versus the Chiefs defense, the Ravens will need to flat out outgun the Chiefs to win this game. There's no reason to think Lamar Jackson can't handle a high-scoring affair after his divisional round performance. And that backed up the best season he's ever had throwing the ball. What's scary is he hasn't lost that running mojo. He went back to hitting the century mark against the Texans. Jackson will lead a prolific pass rush. You've got Gus Edwards. You've got Justice Hill. Justice Hill's a guy very fast who I think is really underrated. They'll be the principal ball carriers. Now, he spreads the ball around well and should get Mark Andrews back at tight end, and he's already got Isaiah Likely. So if you want to run the ball against the Chiefs, you can even go two tight ends, go a little play action, little bootleg action. There's a lot of things they could do with both tight ends in, and Likely really stepped up after Andrews went down. Now, he also uses the wide receivers well beyond trusting Zay Flowers, who he trusts most in the big downfield spots. And this offense has really taken off with first-year play caller Todd Monken joining the team, and he's messed well with Jackson, even better than people could have imagined. And Lamar's shown that he is a quarterback that can throw the ball. So anybody out there that is saying that Lamar Jackson is a running back playing quarterback, I think they're crazy. He can throw the ball. The Chiefs' defense is nasty. They're quick. Chris Jones is a big-time player. The DBs are solid. But it can be vulnerable against the run. That's why I said don't be surprised to see 2 and 3 tight ends sometimes here for the Ravens. Their pass rush for the Chiefs can also be neutralized a little by the running of Jackson and Edwards. And Jackson has multiple ways to find the best matchups. When you look at the X factors, the Ravens will look to beat the Chiefs with physicality and big plays. There's no indirect approach to taking down the champions, and Baltimore will have more confidence doing so at home. Now, the Chiefs are an underdog, which is always weird in the playoffs. We've seen them lose before to the Patriots and the Bengals. We've seen them lose the Super Bowl to the Bucks. But as the Ravens and other teams have gotten raves in the conference, there were questions about Mahomes, Kelsey, and the play calling from Andy Reid. But all those have been answered in a race for the penultimate round, the AFC Championship game. Reid is more likely to have effective wrinkles and surprises at work versus what the Ravens deploy. The Ravens like to run a lot of show coverage, which will change the coverage at the snap of the ball. Mahomes has had difficulties with that before, especially when you look at some games in the past against the Patriots and the Bengals that we talked about. Now, the special teams, this is a tough battle. The Chiefs have a good trio in kicker Harrison Butker, Tommy Townsend at the punter. You got returner Richie James, but the Ravens raise it up a notch. They've got Justin Tucker, Jordan Stout, and Devin Duvernay returning, and Baltimore has a former special teams coach as his head coach. I guarantee you this team will be prepared on special teams. And Justin Tucker is maybe the greatest kicker in NFL history. Actually, he's the greatest kicker in NFL history. When you look at the coaching, it's pretty even. John Harbaugh used to work for Andy Reid as Andy Reid's special teams coach, and they both got extremely good staffs. Reid has the experience of Taub and others. Steve Spagnuolo is the third key part. He's one of the best defensive coordinators in football. Harbaugh has Monken. He's got Mike McDaniel calling a stellar pass rush as part of his breakout year as an NFL defensive play caller. The intangibles. We saw Harbaugh after the game, the win over Houston, doing this crazy dance. This, to me, is not like the 2019 team that lost in a divisional round to the Titans after having a great year and Lamar was the MVP. This team seems to be having more fun. They're playing looser, which makes them more dangerous. The vibes are similar to the 2012 group that won it all as the number 4 seed. Now, Mahomes, Reid, and Kelsey have some narratives that stack up well also, but I think the Ravens have a little extra off-field, little extra oomph here. Now, who do I think wins this game? I think we can expect both teams to play well. I mean, they're both very good, well-coached teams. This will be a classic duel between Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, much like we've seen in the past. Mahomes against Tom Brady, Mahomes against Joe Burrow, Mahomes against Josh Allen. Now, I will tell you this, Mahomes against Tom Brady and Mahomes against Joe Burrow in playoffs and Super Bowls, he's 0-3. Josh Allen, of course, he's dominated. But and it shocks me that Josh Allen doesn't get more crap for that because Lamar Jackson gets crap for everything. I wonder why Josh Allen doesn't get the same kind of scrutiny. Well, I think we all know. Now, the quarterbacks, offensive, defense, special teams coaches are all positioned to lead either team to victory. But in the end, the Chiefs are still alive in the playoffs because of Patrick Mahomes, and it's difficult to go against him in any such monumental matchup. Now, I don't know who's going to win this game, but when I look at the point spread, 3.5 points to me is a good number for betting the Chiefs. Anything above 3, I'm jumping on the Chiefs. Make sure you check out multiple sports books to get that extra half point, because that extra half point can make all the difference in the world when you're betting on sports. And if you're betting on sports, go do it at BetMGM. Click on the link in the description down below in the YouTube video. They have some of the quickest payouts. They have some of the best numbers. Check out BetMGM. So my pick in this game is to take Kansas City minus 3.5 points. If you want to see my prediction for who will win the game, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Eastern on the Grueling Truth Sports Network, myself, Steve Risley, Dan Kornhauser will be there to break down both games, to make our picks, talk a little bit of NFL news. Make sure you check us out. And also, remember, you can follow me on X at Grueling Truth. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell notification on YouTube. But for now, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.